It's half of a chess game, because a chess game has 32, but this is symbolic, and it will continue on. And we have these people, like different characters, like Marie Antoinette, who was an Austrian who got married to the French Bourbon family in order to solve the problems between. Then there is the different kind of people that we can see that were important in the making of Austria, or they are part of the Austrian intellectual makeup. Also, they have contributed tremendously to the universe. Like, for example, Sigmund Freud is an important psychoanalyst who has contributed worldwide. Mrs. von Suttern, who was a great disarmament person who fought for peace, and she was a part of the Nobel, and she was a friend to Mr. Nobel, and she created that and convinced Mr. Nobel that he should make a peace prize, and she got it in 1905, the first peace prize. She was about to go to a very important peace treaty, but she died of cancer 1 week before the treaty, and 1 week after, in we have Felix Ferdinand was assassinated by the Sarajevo liberalists, and that's when it started World War I, or the Great War. We have Egon Schiele, who was a great expressionist painter who died extremely young at age 27 or 28, who was considered as a perverse, sexual perverse, and his paintings, they said, were sexual, like in the same manner that they considered Marie Antoinette in her judgment that she was perverse, but she was a very emancipated woman who thought much more beyond her period. Then we have Mr. Albert Heim, who killed all the Jews in the Second World War. He was considered Mr. Death and escaped to Egypt and lived there and died in 92. Madame Bertin, Rosie Bertin, she was a great couturier in Paris, and she was a very simple background, and she opened this shop on La Rue Attinet, where she attracted all the very rich people and all the queens and so forth. And Marie Antoinette was dressed in cotton, and the cotton was because, they said that this was against the French mentality, because the French were silk, and turning to cotton, she was supporting a different market. And it was the time of the Industrial Revolution, the cotton industry of textile, and the slave trade. So it all functions together of a different setup of the world and how it evolved, and Madame Bertin eventually and Antoinette created the beginning of haute couture. So we have different concepts of thoughts that have grown from Austria, conflicting, as well as the concept that create emancipation in the way of thinking. You see, when you look at the chess game with the mirror, which is the black and white, which is part of the chess game, it looks very beautiful to see all the tables, all the sun, all the painting on the wall, all the windows in this, so it unifies the whole space.
So the tapestry has different elements in it. You have the light that shines really at the left side of the tapestry and shines outwards. And then you have these poles that are connected to the ground. And you have the body that is lying, and you have this pole with the hands and the plants that are being taken out of the body somehow. And for me, it was really thinking of a landscape that is not defined, but a landscape that is linked to a body that is decaying within it. So something that is dying, but something at the same time as it dies is nutrients to the soil and also creates new life. So the title, Tied to the Other Side, we can also think of it of the aspects that are not visible. The other side is the possibility of something that we do not know. But in other terms, it could also link us to the idea of spirituality, to the other side, to hell, to heaven, to how we can think of all these other places that go beyond body, that go beyond skin, that go beyond blood, nerves, muscles, but enters into a place that is beyond the flesh, into the place that is the soul.
Something new, something good, something good, something new, something good, something good, something good, something new.
And I felt like the two poems can work very well because one is touching the non-tangible and the other side is really touching matter and material and the part that is also decaying and falling back into place. So I felt like those two poems could really work within the space, and to have the plants with them was almost to refer to that relationship of graveyards or tombstones.
Something new, something good, something new, something good, something new, something new, something new, something good, something new, something good.
Well, the sound piece is called Something New, Something Grew, and Something Good. I wanted to start from a place of thinking about the body and how to translate that through sound. And so I did not have a clear idea about what I was going to do, but what I knew was that it had to bring out different parts of the body. So you'd hear the sound of the rubbing of the hands that work, to the sound of the beating of the chest, to the sound of breathing. So you would hear specific sounds that are layered upon layer. But I wanted also polyphony of voices. So all the sounds to this sound piece is made by my voice, but also made in relation to my body. And to create multiple voices that would express different kinds of emotions. And I wanted it that this piece can also reverberate in space to also touch other bodies.
Something new, something good, something new, something good,
and it's a way of also putting out something that is opening up a place of positivity even though we're looking at the world in the way that it is breaking down, but at the same time, there are things that we're not seeing now that will definitely show a new sprout of something.
Something good, something bad, something good, something good,